Hello everyone and welcome to Aston Villa Unlimited. My name is Harry and thank you all for joining me today. I've got a few things to talk about. First of all, welcome to a new channel which I've started up. It's going to be all about your Aston Villa news, maybe splitting into other stuff, but Aston Villa news mainly. That is what I've decided on. I'm going to talk about a few things today, mainly the Newcastle match which is happening tomorrow, the 23rd of August 2014. 12:45 kickoff. I'm heading down to it and I just wanted to have a few words about the game. I've got a few ideas and suggestions for the team. I don't know, you guys comment in the section below. I know this probably won't get as many views as I think it will in the time, but I hope you can all join me over the next season and beyond as we talk about the Villa lineups and the news and what's happening. I've got also a few more things to talk about today. A couple of rumours which apparently we may be signing. Don't know if they're true or not, just rumours as I say. I will give you a link to where I get them all in the description below. And also our new CEO who's taken over from Paul Faulkner. So I will give you an update on those after I have talked about the Newcastle match. So we won our opening game against Stoke away. I actually didn't get to watch the game. I didn't get to go to it, mainly because I was at VFest up in Staffordshire, and I didn't even really get to listen to the game. I was obviously away doing things. It was very fun, but enough about that. Good win. Good solid first win. I saw most of the highlights, the extended highlights on AVTV, as I am a season ticket holder. Good solid performance, I thought. However, I did notice a lack of, I think it was finishing ability. Ogbonlahor, who is Villa through and through, you've got to give him that, but to be honest, I don't think he has the cut for our first team at this moment in time. I think he needs to work on his finishing and his passing and just generate everything apart from his pace. I'm not slating the guy, I really like him, I love that he's claret and blue through and through, but to be honest guys, I don't think he will be cut out for the Premier League this season. Saying that, he will be played because Lambert has an obligation to be able to play him, mainly because he's just been at the club for so long, and I know that he won't want to change that. Imagine the disappointment from Ogbonlahor, and he might just riddle a few of the players, like bringing their morale down as well, but I don't think he will. He doesn't deserve a place in our starting 11, especially with the players we've got at the moment. But saying that, I mean, he does create some chances. He hasn't really done it for us over the past couple of seasons. I could completely take this back. He could have a stormy season, but not on what I saw for the extended highlights of the Stoke game. He had an opportunity to put us 1-0 up. Now, to be honest, I don't understand how he missed it. He kind of just leant back a bit, opened his feet too wide, just let it slip off his foot, and it just went wide. And that was an opportunity to bring it to 1-0, and it should have happened, but it didn't. Meaning we went into half-time at 0-0, which I would have taken that at the end of the game, to be honest. 0-0 at Stoke. It's a clean sheet for us, which, I mean, a couple of seasons ago was unheard of. I think we'd gone something like 26 games without a clean sheet, which is just mental. Could have been more than that. I can't exactly remember the stats. Probably should have looked them up, but yeah. And then we had Bakuna at the end of the game where we were 1-0 up already. Grealish made a good bursting run down the side. Absolute talent that kid is. I think he's going to be absolutely quality for us this season. But saying that, I don't think he has enough experience to be able to make it into the first team squad for this Newcastle match. I've seen him play. I went to the Parma game pre-season. When he came on, he just lit up the crowd. Players just can't seem to touch him. He's got so much ability, and I think we need to keep hold of him. I'm pretty sure we will keep hold of him. It's just we need to play him at the right times. I think he deserves a place in the team. If we're playing Ogbonlahor down the left, we've got to play Grealish ahead of him because he creates chances. He's got feet like it's ridiculous. Players can't seem to be able to touch him. If you watch him play, he just dances around the defence, midfielders as well, and he always seems to be there creating chances, which Ogbonlahor does once in a blue moon. And I think if we were going on that, I would play him ahead of Ogbonlahor. But saying that, we have Richardson, and I think for this Newcastle match, I would play Richardson ahead of Grealish just because of his experience. I didn't see too many highlights of how he played against Stoke, but I just think in general Richardson may be a better choice in the first starting 11 ahead of Newcastle rather than Grealish. Now I'm going to go on to talk about what I would consider my lineup for the Newcastle match. Obviously we've got big Brad Guzan in goal. Can't take him away. Always solid. His kicking ability is a bit shabby at times, but I mean everything else, he's an all-round good keeper. Distribution sometimes lacks a little bit, but I think that was mainly when we were playing Benteke, just hoofing it up to him, which I absolutely hated. I was a season ticket holder last season, and as the rest of you know, if you went to the Villa matches at home last season, even away, we just away we weren't as bad, but we just kept on hoofing it up to Benteke, and it was just like, what are we doing? Play some football. But anyway, enough of that. I think we may have. I'm saying that with a kind of hope that we don't start playing that football again, because it's not what we wanted to see. Anyway, big Brad Guzan in goal. Hutton, right back. Can't take it away from him. He has been shunned by our club for the past 2 years, taken out of the first team, demoted the reserves. He went away to Malaga, or was it? It was some Spanish team to have a season on loan last season. Or was it the season before? It was one of them. And he's come back into the first team, and he has been sensational for us pre-season. There's no other words about it, considering how he's been treated. He came out and said that he wants to play well for Villa. It was like his second debut, and I think he's going to be a massive, massive player for us this season. In the centre, I would put Vlar and Senderos, mainly because they had a storming game together at the weekend. Vlar and him both just chucking themselves in front of the ball, doing everything to keep the ball out of the goal. Everyone was taking a mick when Senderos signed for us, but again, he could be a great signing for us. Brings in the experience which we desperately needed last season. And to be honest, ahead of Baker and Clark, I'd play him any day. Saying that, Akore, I watched him against Parma. He's defensively quite good, but he does have the tendency to give the ball away when he's playing it around the back. He tries too many elaborate things, things which he can't do, like passing it just too. I don't know what the word is. He seems to give the ball away a lot. But I mean, he's only 21, so you got to give the lad a chance. I think he's 21. He could be 22. And I think for this game, I would play Senderos ahead of Vlar just because I think they have a solid partnership, and I think that Senderos, along with Vlar, can command the team pretty well, especially as Vlar's the captain, but Senderos has a good presence at the back as well. Left back, Sissoko had an absolutely storming first half. His debut was really, really good. Very impressed with him. He had a few errors at Liverpool last season, but I'm holding nothing against him. He's played for some top clubs. And I think that, again, great signing for us. Our defence this season is looking a lot stronger already. Just the experience we need, and we're going to be able to create chances from the back as well, which is good because Hutton, I think he was like a second top scorer or so in the pre-season, wasn't he? And Sissoko, again, likes to get forward but can also defend as well. Both big blokes, and we've got a very strong defence, which is very good and very nice to see. Now, I'm gonna say that we want to play a 4-2-3-1 formation or 4-5-1, depending on how you see it. So ahead of them, we have just signed Sanchez from Elche. Great signing. We need a defensive midfielder like him. However, saying that, I would not put him in the starting 11 for Newcastle. Now, some of you might be going, what are you talking about? We've got to have him in the starting 11. But who would you replace? Westwood had a good pre-season, same as Delph. I think they both had really good pre-seasons. Delph is creative midfielder. Westwood has got an amazing pass on him. And I wouldn't, for this game, put him straight into the starting 11. He must have only had like 3 or 4 training sessions with the squad, maybe not even that. And I think to disturb that central midfield partnership of Westwood and Delph wouldn't be right at this moment in time. Saying that, going on to the Hull match next week, I would put him in there, mainly because it's not as big opposition. I'm not taking it away from any Hull fans, not that there probably would be any watching it. But but they are a less strong team, a weaker team. I couldn't think of the word then. They're a weaker team than Newcastle. Newcastle made some pretty not decent signings, but they've made some signings which have bolstered their squad in the summer, and I think that they have a stronger squad and they have the ability to climb higher up the table than Hull, which is probably to be expected. But saying that, I wouldn't put Sanchez in straight away. I'd give him another week. He would be on the bench. I would put him on the bench, but we'll come to that later. Then, ahead of them, a sort of attacking right midfield, coming back to help Hutton at right back as well. Bacuna. I know he missed that chance against Stoke, which quite horrendous. I think he should have cut outside, maybe, and just curled it in the bottom corner like he did against Norwich last season. However, I think he brings an attacking outfit to our team as well as in a defensive one. He's got a good tackle on him, but he's also possibly the worst crosser in our team. I don't think he managed to get it above the first defender last season. If any of you were actually watching and managed to notice that, he hasn't got a very good cross on him, but he does score goals and he's got a good free kick on him. And I would just play him in the team ahead of, I think, Abonlahor. I would take Abonlahor out for Bacuna at this moment in time. So in the centre, Nzogbia, creative midfielder, great player. I think he's going to be great for us again this season. Brought out of the bomb squad by Paul Lambert or Randy Lerner, whichever way you see it. And again, I think he's going to be a great player for us this season just because of his creativity and his free kicks and his set pieces. I just think all round he's a good player. I was very excited when we signed him 3 or 4 years ago, and he just never really got started. But I think the season before last, he had a couple of good games, created 11 assists or something, and I think he could do the same this season, especially with Benteke and Kozak when they're back. Left midfield, attacking left midfield, I'd have Kieran Richardson, mainly because, again, his experience, he's a good attacking outfit, and I think that he fits in well with the squad. I wouldn't put Grealish ahead of him just yet. I think Grealish is more of a super sub at this moment in time. Mainly, maybe play him against Hull, see how he fares. But I wouldn't start him in this game. Mainly, as I said, we need the experience, and we tend to have rubbish games against Newcastle. I know not all the time, but last season I think we lost both of them after some shabby tactics by Lambert. Away, I was at the game at Newcastle and it was horrendous. I don't know what we were doing, but anyway. And then up front by himself, not Bent, Vyman. I'd stick Vyman in there mainly because he got a goal. I don't think he is the best player. He's got a work rate like a cart horse. Great work rate. Love to see that. Hasn't got the best finish on him, but I think he brings something up front. I think he's playing up front by himself. He's got pace. And I think he could flourish, mainly whilst Benteke and Kozak are out. But yeah, I would stick Vyman up there again, just because I think that he has a bit more work rate than Bent, and Abonlahor, I just don't think he's cut out for it this season. Anyway, moving on to the subs. Given is a bit of a given in goal, you could say. I'd then put Baker and Okore on the bench with Cole on there, and also Sanchez, as I said. Then I would. This is a tough one because you've got to. I want Grealish in there, but taking Abonlahor out completely, I don't think Paul Lambert would do that. I suppose it's not my guess on what Paul Lambert is what I'd want. So I'd take Abonlahor out and put Grealish in on the bench just because I think he's been better pre-season, and then Bent on the bench as well because bring those two on as super subs. I mean, saying that, Abonlahor's pace could destroy teams in the 70th minute because Paul Lambert doesn't seem to make changes before then. But saying that, Abonlahor, Grealish, it's between them. I'll let you guys decide. Comment in the section below whether you think my team is good or not. And I forgot to mention that Bacuna and Richardson bring width, which we desperately needed last season at times. We played such narrow football at home. I think it was the season before as well. We lost 3-0 to Wigan at home. One of the worst home games I've ever been to, and they just carved us open because there wasn't enough width in the team. We were all playing either straight down the centre or to one side, and there was literally half a pitch which had no players in it. And I think we desperately need that this season, which I think Bacuna and Richardson can bring us in this Newcastle game. and also if you decide to bring Grealish on, he's got it as well as Cole. Cole's straight swap for Nzogbia in there. Sanchez straight swap for Westwood or Delph, depending on how the game's going. And I just think we have a solid team at the moment in time, and I think we have a good season ahead of us. I don't think we should be expecting too much. I'm expecting about 13th, maybe a bit of an improvement. Not too much of a drastic improvement, but if we can just build on what we had last season, our youngsters should start gaining experience. We've sent out the likes of Joe Bennett, who didn't have too bad a pre-season, and we sent out Tonev, which I think is a good move. We shouldn't let him go. Same as Hellenius. I don't get why Hellenius wasn't played last season. It really frustrated me, but it's up to the manager. And I will see you guys for the next episode, which will probably be on Sunday, mainly because I'm going to the Newcastle game tomorrow. I'll give you some updates from it, what my thoughts on it were, and I will see you guys next time. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and give me your comments in the section below. Thank you very much, and see you next time. Bye.